Today we're checking out a whole line of impact wrenches from Martin's Industries. And if you're not aware of Martin's, they've been around for decades and they span many countries as well, including the US, Canada, as well as the Netherlands. Martin's Industries has a long list of tools, supplies, equipment that fit both the tire industry as well as the equipment repair and automotive repair business as well. These are four of their impact wrenches, starting off with their cordless impact wrench or their battery-powered impact wrench. It's a 21-volt, half-inch drive, brushless motor-driven impact wrench, up to 800 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. You get 3 different forward speeds, and you get 2 reverse speeds as well. We'll dive into deeper details here in just one moment. Then we have their Impulse Pneumatic half-inch drive classic impact wrench. This has 5 forward speeds and 5 reverse speeds. At 90 psi, you're looking at about 554 foot-pounds of torque. And then we have their composite half-inch drive impact wrench. A little newer design here, less of the classic design. Still 4 forward speeds, 4 reverse speeds, a little easier to shift between forward and reverse. Again, we'll go over that here in one moment. And as far as power on this one, you're looking at 950 or 945 foot-pounds of torque on this. And then basically on the next one, which is the MX-LWE, this is the MX-LW1, this is the MX-LWE, which is basically this one with an extended anvil. Still is 945 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. Still the 4 forward speeds, 4 reverse speeds. So let's dive in and take a closer look at each one of these. And by the way, then we're going to take them over to the test rig and actually test them. As I mentioned, this is the Martin's Industries Impulse cordless impact wrench, and it's their model number MXP1. And I also mentioned that we're looking at like 797 foot-pounds of torque. I would call that 800 foot-pounds, and we'll see about that here in a moment. Now, it does have 3 different forward speeds on here, and you can see here when I push the button, we have an LED light here at the bottom. It's in reverse, so I've got a little red light there. That's telling me that's in the auto mode, and if I hit the mode button, that red light will go off. So now I'm just in the regular reverse mode, which is basically 100%. So I get 100% power in reverse, or if I go into the auto mode, then I get it reduced power, and also it stops as soon as it senses that the fastener has broken free. So that's in reverse. If I shift over, so I can just shift to forward, and so now we'll see these other buttons light up. So that tells me we have 3 different speeds. Right now I'm in speed mode 3, which is in the most powerful, and then I can hit the mode button and shift down to 1, a little bit slower, and 2 right there at medium speed or right in the middle. Now, speed 1 is going to give us 1,500 RPM. Speed 2 is going to give us 1,900 RPM. And speed 3 is going to give us 2,400 RPM. However, with the variable speed trigger, you can also dial in how much of that you want. So even though we're in, max output speed 3, I can grab a handful of trigger and get all that, or I can just go very slow and feather that throttle as well. Same in reverse. Even though I'm in auto, let's shift out of auto. So right there in reverse as well, I can slow that as slow as I want to, creep up on it. So just with that variable speed throttle input or trigger input. Now the anvil is a hog ring style anvil, so it does not have a pin detent, so it's going to automatically lock onto those sockets just with the friction fit of the hog ring style anvil there. And as I mentioned, we do get a brushless motor, so this is not a brushed motor driving this. We have a lithium ion 4,000 milliamp hour or 4 amp hour 21 volt battery driving the brushless motor, delivering that 800 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. Now this is their more classic edition of their pneumatic impact wrench. This is the MXC1, or what they're calling their classic impact wrench. And at about 90 psi, you're looking at output of 554 foot-pounds. And as I mentioned, you have 5 forward and 5 reverse speeds. Now, shifting the speeds on this a little bit different than on the cordless version. You're basically going to shift this rocker back and forth. So you can see that's just forward and reverse. And then you can dial in the speed on either side from 0 to 5 for how much power you want. And then when you want that same power in reverse, just shift it over and now you're in reverse. It's a very classic looking pneumatic impact. Your throttle here, put some air on it. Pretty classic or typical exhaust out the bottom of the impact. Again, shift over. And now you're backwards. You can feather the throttle. Definitely that classic impact wrench sound. That's the MX-C1. And these two are just about identical other than the extended anvil, and this is the MX-LW1, and this is the MX-LWE, and the E is just for extended anvil. Now, as I mentioned, both of these have 4 forward and reverse speeds. And power on these is going to be 945 foot-pounds. So very strong guns. These are considered like they're composite style guns or composite style impacts. So are a little bit lighter than your typical impact wrench because of the composite body, but still packing a ton of power. Now let's take a closer look here, put some air on it. Exhaust out the bottom, just like on the Classic. A little quieter than the Classic. And then shifting is a lot easier here with a big knob where we can shift between low and high, and then between forward and reverse just with the push of a thumb. So kind of single hand operation to switch gears and then the switch speeds as well. So really nice looking impact wrenches. Now we'll get them over on the test rig and see how they do. All right, first up, we're going to test the Impulse cordless impact wrench, but let's first get these nuts torqued up where they need to be. We're going to start at 200 foot-pounds. Okay, here's how this works. So we're going to set this in reverse, and we're going to make sure we're not in auto mode. So full power in reverse. And you see our markings on the socket, and that's so that we can actually see whether it's moving or not. And what we'll do is allow this to impact for up to 10 seconds to be able to break the fastener free. If it is moving the fastener during that 10 seconds, then we'll let it go ahead and finish that. If it's not moving within that 10-second window, then we'll stop it there and it won't get the point or won't get the fastener. So we'll start at 200 foot-pounds and go from there. .800 foot-pounds. So that did take all it could, but it was moving it in that 10-second window. So we went ahead, let it finish. We're going to give it that 800 foot-pounds. Now we know that that's really the extreme side of letting it hammer that long. So the chances of it getting 900 is slim to none. So we'll stop it there at 800. That's the claim on it, 800. So we'll give it the big green check mark and say we think it achieves what's been promised by Martin's Industries, and that is 797 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. Now let's quickly shift into the auto mode in reverse and see what happens here. So you see it actually stop the wrench, stop the impact. So finger is still on the trigger, but it stopped it as soon as it realized that it broke it free. So it broke it free, spun it a few times, and then stopped the tool once it realized that it was broken free. So now we're going to be testing their classic impact wrench, or the model number MXC1, which goes up to 550 foot-pounds. So we're going to start right here at 550. We're going to make sure that we're in speed 5. We're in reverse, 200 foot-pounds. So we did 500, here's 550. My hand actually slid up, turned the air off on the coupler. That's why it slowed down, but no problem, breaking free, 550 as they claim. Okay, so now we're going to test the composite impact wrench, and we're not going to test both because the extended anvil is the same thing. We'll just test this one. We have it in reverse, and we have it in the highest speed. And here we go at 200 foot-pounds. This is a great line of impact wrenches from Martin's, from the classic style pneumatic to the composite, as well as now the cordless 21-volt impact wrench as well. Now, if you're looking at pricing, it's going to be somewhere around $150 for the classic version, around $240 for the composite version, and about $265 for the extended anvil version. And then the cordless kit with 2 batteries and a charger and the impact wrench is going to run you a little less than $400 for the kit. Hey, check them out for yourselves. We'll have links in the descriptions if you're interested. Also, keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And by all means, if you hated our video, well, give us a thumbs down. But let us know in the comments why. Have a great day and keep smiling.